Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how you can use Google Hangouts and Google Meet to start a video call with your students. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your computer, since we don't use a gmail.com email address, we might need to download and install the latest version of the Hangouts plugin. So I will include a link to this document with the Hangouts plugin, link included in the Google Classroom training site that I have created. So click on the Hangouts plugin link. It will load over here. In the right-hand side, click on this blue download plugin button. Give it a moment. The Hangouts plugin will load at the lower left-hand side. Make sure you click on Keep. After it's done flashing, you can click on the file and install. It will begin installing and downloading. And instead of getting an error, since I've already done it, it's already installed, it will say installation complete, and then you can close that. And that'll help clear up any issues you might be having with Google Hangouts or Google Meet. So that's that plugin over there. The next thing you want to do is go to hangouts.google.com. This is where you'll start your video conferencing calls from if you want to start a call right away. So the first thing you would do is come over here to where it says video call and click on the video icon, and it will load the dashboard. And click over here by the plus sign, join or start a meeting. We are going to start a meeting. Give your meeting a name, and then click continue. Give it a moment, and the meeting is getting ready. It will ask for permission to view your camera. Make sure you click allow if that appears over here, as well as sound on your computer. I am going to close my camera off for right now. But if that allow button comes up for both the microphone and the camera, please make sure you select allow. Once you're ready to begin the meeting, click on join now. And you will see right here, this is where you can now share out your meeting details. There is a URL, an address of where the meeting is. You can copy that by highlighting it or just click on copy joining info. And then you can go over to somewhere like your Google Classroom and click on your classroom and create an announcement inside the classroom to alert anybody that your meeting is going on and where they need to click for that particular meeting. So you could click right here and click and add that information, and then even add the link to the video conferencing call by highlighting, clicking, adding the link, and right there is the link. And this would be for a video that you want to start right away. So that's one way you could share it. The other way you could share it is by clicking and adding individual people and sending them an invite. And you would simply just start typing their email address or their name or their student ID. And you'll see it'll start narrowing down. And once you've selected a student or a colleague that you'd like to share the meeting invite with, you would just click on send invite. They would get an email invitation with a link to join your Google Meet or Google Meeting. Now you're inside of the Google Meet. Now this is if you want to start your video conferencing call right away. What if you want to schedule it for later on? And this is probably the best way to do it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to exit out of here and leave the call and close this window. You would do that through Google Calendar. So we're going to go to make sure we're logged into our FLDOE, click on the little 9 dots, the square, and click on Calendar. Once Google Calendar loads, go to the date where you want to schedule your meeting, video conference, type in the title for your meeting. Come down here to more options. This is where you can select the date, and then you can schedule the exact time that the meeting will occur from when it will start and end. I'm going to select 3 o'clock until 3:30, and then come down here to the video icon and click on Add Conferencing and select Hangouts Meet. Come over here to the right drop-down arrow, and you can copy this link. Control-C, come over to your class, and this is where you would be able to add that link for your students. Click on Link, paste the link in there, and then type something similar to this. We will have a live online class on April 1st, and I said that it was starting at, let's just say it was 3 p.m. Please click on the link below to the class. Let's actually make that 2 p.m. if we're during school hours. And then you would post that, and students would be able to click on this link when the class was starting. Now back over to your calendar. If you wanted to give another way to communicate to your students about the online live class, you could also add them as individual guests by typing in their name. So if you did Joseph and then somebody would come up, you could add them to the meeting. You could type in a student ID and people would come up by the student ID. And then once you hit save, it would say, would you like to send invitation emails? You would hit send and they would get an email as well telling them about this particular class. Down here, once let me get rid of them. Down on the bottom here, you will see that it has add description. Under here, you can add an attachment. Any attachments that you add at this particular time in your calendar, they will be useful for when you're inside your Google Meet, and I will show you how to access them. So hold down your Shift key and you can add multiple attachments at the same time. Hit select. You'll see they appear here. And the last thing I want to note before we save this calendar invite video conference is that make sure it is on your personal calendar and not on one of the classroom Google calendars. If you put it on a different calendar, you will not have access to these documents. I haven't seen them showing up in Google Meet, so you have to leave it on your personal calendar. Once all the settings are ready to go, you hit save. It will be added. Just say don't send. It will be added. This is saying, oh, this is for the student I invited. If you would like them to see your documents and view them, you would have to give them permission by saying view or turning link sharing on, and then you can invite them. Okay, I'm going to cancel and remove this student and then hit save, and it should be added to my calendar. Here it is right there. Now, when it comes time to start your class, you can do it in one of two ways. You can come to your calendar and just click on the Join Hangouts Meet, or you can go to meet.google.com and you'll see that your meeting appears right here on your main dashboard, a 3 o'clock meeting, titled for your meeting. That's what I titled it. You can click on that link and it will bring you into here where you can configure your camera settings. I'm going to turn my camera off and make sure your microphone is on. Click join now, and now you're inside the meeting. So once you're in here, there are a couple of options, things you can change. So right over here by the 3 dots, you can change the layout for your meeting. So if you want to see all of your students and the small tiles of all of your students on the side, you can only see myself now, no one else is there, but they would all appear here. You can select the layout that is called sidebar. If you want to just do spotlight with whoever is talking, you can select that one. They will take up the whole screen. If you'd like to have a tiled view with the main person over here and everybody else here in larger size, you can do that as well, or you can leave it on auto. I usually leave it on sidebar. Another option that you have is to go full screen, and when you want to exit full screen, hover over here, click on the X, or you can hit the escape key on your keyboard. Another option is to turn on and off captions, which you can do at the bottom of the screen as well. And captions are good for anybody in your class or in your video conference who might be hearing impaired, and at least they will get a text version of what is being said during the video conference or your class. To turn them off, you just click on that once again. Other options are related to using a phone for audio. You probably don't want to do that if you're using audio on your computer. If you have 2 audio sources, you will get echo, so please try to avoid doing that. The other option that you have is at the very top. It's called record the meeting. So this would be great if you have students that are unable to attend the live session. You can record a copy of everything you do in the meeting. You do have to hit accept. And then the record button would come up here showing that you are recording the meeting, and everything you're doing during the meeting is now being recorded. All of the recordings are saved on your Google Drive, and once your meeting is over and it's beyond the time that's scheduled in the calendar, you will get an email sent to you with a copy of the recording, and the recording will also appear down here in the notes section where you included those attachments. A a copy of the recording will appear there as well at the end of your meeting, once your meeting is over and it is past the time scheduled in Google Calendar. What else can I show you? It's down here where your meeting details are. You have your link, which you can highlight, which we already did and we put in our classroom, but you have it there as well. And then right here under attachments, here are the 2 attachments that we added into our calendar. And now they are available to you, but they are also available to your students or anybody else who is joining the meeting. So it makes it really convenient to launch a Google slideshow during your Google Meet and share that with your students. The other thing you can do is present your screen, and this is going to be helpful, especially if you're doing some kind of slideshow that you want to share with your students and you want to show them the slides as you're walking them through it. So you would click on Present Now right here, and you could say your entire screen or just a window. I'm going to use my entire screen. Click here and then click Share. And give it a second, and it would say now I am presenting my whole screen to everybody in the meeting. So now when I come over here to my Google slide, everybody in my meeting, and I hit present, they are seeing what I am seeing on my screen. Now, what if I want to see the Google slideshow? At the same time, I do want to see my window with my participants. Well, you can kind of snap one window to one side. I can put my slides over here, and I can hit present. And I don't want to do a full screen presentation, so I would have to go through here. And then on this side, I would have my view of my Google Meet. That would be on this side. So I can do that as well and go through my slideshow with my students over here. I can share whatever I want on the left side, as well as see my students on the right side, or I can go to full screen and share my activity in full screen mode and then come back to my Google Meet at any time. Once I am done sharing, I can come over here and say stop presenting. And I can also stop my recording by coming down to the 3 dots and clicking up here and hitting stop recording, and that will stop the meeting. And it will be saved, it shows you right here, to Google Drive, and it will also be linked in Calendar. So you will have it in both locations. Up here, I have my chat window where I can chat with any of the students and send a message right down here and type and send it out to my students. And then I can toggle back and see all the people who have joined my meeting. If I need to add someone else to the meeting, I can click on the Add People icon and simply type their name or type in a student ID, and they will appear, and then I can click on the invite and they would get an invite to my meeting. Once I'm done, I can click anywhere in the window and I would be out of there. And when I'm all finished with the meeting and it's over, I can come down here and I can leave the call, and that would end the call. And then in my calendar, I would be able to click back on there and go to my meeting, click edit, and you will see right here at the bottom are the 2 documents I shared, but next to it now there's a 3rd item. This is the recording of my meeting, the portion of the meeting that I recorded. You would have access to it there, and you would also receive an email that would contain your recording, and it would also be saved in Google Meet recordings in your Google Drive. So you would have access to that. You could simply take that recording and upload it to your Google Classroom, add it to your Google Classroom, and other students. So if I come back to my sample class, I could say upload Google Drive, and I could find title for your meeting. I would search for that. Let's say right here up top. Right there, title for your meeting. Click it, and it would get added to my announcement as well, and then I could post it. So now I have my meeting where we met, and here afterwards I could add in the recorded version of the meeting. And that's about it. If you have any other questions regarding how to use Google Meet for video conferencing with your students, please don't hesitate to reach out. I would be more than happy to help anyone. Have a great day.